Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Weekly Wednesday Ramble. So, I just got back from a GameCraft meeting, as I mentioned last semester that I joined the Game Dev Club here at Berkeley, and we had our meeting tonight, first meeting of the new semester. And it was a lot of fun. We played board games. It wasn't actually a board game. Let me clarify exactly what we did at this meeting. Our co-president had a ton of board games and card games that she brought, and we were just going to sort of play them to kick off the new semester. And we broke up into groups, and the group I was in, it was about 7 of us. We played a game called Metagame, which is like apples to apples, except with video games. What it is, you have the cards that get put in the center and everyone has to match to, but those are sort of discussion points, like best characters, best use of space, best title, which game is most like a comfy pair of slippers, stuff like that. And each person in the game had 5 cards in their hand, and each card in their hand had a game on it. And so they would play their game, and the judge would collect them all and play them one by one, and the people who played those cards get to argue why or why not that should be qualified as that card. It was a lot of fun. They had every game, a lot of games. They had a lot of stinking games. They had Space War, sort of the branch that I think of it. They went from Space War to Spelunky, so it's a lot of games. They cover a lot of time in the amount of games that they have in that game. I've said game a lot in the first part of this vlog. My goodness. But I'm going to say it a few more times because at this meeting we had a little fun announcement that we're actually, it should be sort of expected considering the nature of the club, but we're actually going to try and make a game as a group this semester and publish it. But no details at all. It was just announced, and we were told to just sort of think about it, and have any ideas we come up with we'll present at next week's meeting. So that'll hopefully be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to whatever happens with this. It's gonna be great. But yeah, no, other than that, not a lot else has happened this week. Friday night, my dad was up in town with a friend, and I got together with a friend of mine, and we went and had dinner at a Japanese place on Central Street called Ippuku. And I've eaten there before, so I know the food's amazing. It's the place, I don't know if I've probably told some of you this, but they serve a whole barbecued squid. It's sliced up, but it's the whole squid, and it's freaking delicious. But, fun little highlight, that's not the big squid, I had squid ink fried rice while I was there. Which is very, very strange, because I'm not entirely sure what the squid ink adds to the food, other than making it black fried rice. Don't get me wrong, it was delicious. I have no complaints about the squid ink fried rice, other than I don't understand why the squid ink was there. But yeah, no, sort of after having pretty much a full week of classes now, I've sort of updated thoughts on some of my classes. I updated thoughts on some of my classes. Let's just put it there. So, Japanese 1B, it's a really interesting class, because I always sort of half dread going into there, because it's we're going to be here for an hour. What on earth are we going to do for an hour when we're just staying in the one lesson? And then, our teachers find things to do. And it's interesting, because I sometimes forget, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but sometimes I'll just be in there and my mind just I can sort of feel my mind just sort of click into place with, right, everything sort of feels natural right now. And it's an interesting feeling. I'm not sure if I'm describing it very well at all, but it's an interesting experience with learning a language. It really is. And then CS70, I sort of expressed my woes about my professor last week. I'm not doing well with times right now. But, so, his sort of philosophy towards school life, I still don't really agree with, but he is a pretty fantastic teacher. The class is interesting because so far it's all about, proofs, but we learn a lot of random math facts doing it. The sum of perfect cubes in a row is always a perfect square. Always. Prime numbers are infinite. Other weird facts, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but we learn a lot of interesting things doing that class. And it's going to be quite cool. Like, I'm enjoying doing the work a lot, but I still don't agree with his philosophy about spending time at school. So there's that. And, well, there's not a whole lot much more for me to say about my week. But I think it's time to bring back an old tradition in a different light. And that is the question of the week. However, it seems that Steven and I are the only ones actually doing vlogs right now. Now, I'm not holding that against anyone. I know everyone else has like a lot of stuff on their plates and is doing like a ton of stuff. But Steven and I are currently the only ones doing vlogs. So I thought that instead of sort of a question of the week, which would be silly, because if I wanted to ask Steven a question, I could just send him a question, that I thought I would just send him a message via this vlog, which sort of contradicts what I just said about sending him a question. But anyway, Steven, you are likely watching this video right now. If you're not, this is silly. Why am I doing this? But on the assumption that you are in fact watching this video, over the weekend I read a manga that I think you would really like. It's The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. It's really stinking funny. Like, it's just silly nonsense the entire time, in sort of a different style than the way Nichijou did it, where it's not realistic in the slightest. Like, even more so, like, Nichijou, I feel like, tried to stay real at some points. This doesn't. No, it's like, time travel, yeah, you're there. Time travel, aliens, it's all right there, and it feels very normal, which shouldn't feel normal. Apparently, like, I read it, but apparently the anime is really stinking good, too. But I'm very confused by when I go on Crunchyroll and I look at the anime listings. It's like there's like 3 different times the show is aired or something, and I don't understand, because I don't know which one was the good one. I don't know if there was a bad one or which one is the good one. But anyway, that's my message for Steven. You should send me a message similar in your vlog that is something interesting. That, I don't know. Do something interesting, directed towards me, considering we're the 2 people doing vlogs right now. And on that note, everyone else, I look forward to your next vlogs. I hope they happen sometime. I think I saw on Facebook Kyle might put one out soon, which will be cool, because I haven't heard from Kyle in a while. But yeah, that is all from me this week. I will talk to you next Wednesday, and until then, stay classy.